Namaste, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Pai's Astrology channel. Today we have a very special guest with us, Naman Chitkara. Namaste, Naman.
Namaste. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well.
So Naman is Astro Vastu scientist, and he's going to be answering some of the questions regarding Astro Vastu. So should we start?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my first question, Naman, is how does Vastu Shastra actually integrates with astrology, in particular regarding planets and nakshatras?
Okay, see, Vastu, when we talk about Vastu, it is one of the limb of the astrology. Okay, it is derived from astrology. There are various concepts which we take from astrology to give accurate predictions, in Vastu. So, for example, I'll tell you that, if we are selecting a bedroom for somebody, we'll look for the Ashtaka Varga. The Ashtaka Varga is a concept which is derived from astrology. In Ashtaka Varga, a particular planet gives a score to a particular direction. So, for example, talking about me, if I have good Ashtaka Varga score of Venus in South, then the best direction for my bedroom would be South. So this is how we take, inputs from astrology uh, to give the accurate predictions in Vastu.
Right. So in general, Vastu, a person wouldn't really know, right? Like when you're looking at particular someone's chart, then it's more customized to them, their
Absolutely.
energies. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it is like a personalized Vastu. It is not like
Right.
a generalized Vastu, but it is more of a personalized Vastu. So that is the Vastu which gives the accurate and most precise results to my clients and people out there.
So my next question is, how do you balance individual horoscopic influences with Vastu principles in Astro Vastu, and do they ever conflict?
Okay, so like I said, the Ashtaka Varga is very important, when we consider the individual Vastu. Okay, so for example, there are four people living in the house. So I calculate the individual Ashtaka Varga scores of all those four people, and then I give my predictions that okay, person one needs to have a room in this direction, and then for example, the kitchen. Okay, the female of the house spends most of the times into the kitchen cooking. So in that case, I check the Ashtak Varga of Mars and Moon. Okay, why do I check the Ashtak Varga of Moon here? Because see, Moon in astrology, it represents nourishment. Okay, so what does a female do in the kitchen? She cooks food, she nurtures her family. So that is why I take the Ashtak Varga of Moon and Mars of that female who's going to cook into the kitchen, and then I recommend the exact direction where the kitchen should be placed. So this is how I do the balancing of each and everything in the house, from the bedrooms to the living room to the kitchen to the study room, with emphasis to Ashtak Varga. So this is how Astro Vastu works.
Nice, nice. Can you explain the relationship between an individual's birth chart details and the layout of their living space?
See, the living space, the layout, it doesn't have, very much of the emphasis on it. So what we do is, from the Ashtaka Varga score of Sun and the ascendant, what we can do is we can find out the exact facing of the house and of the main door. So, okay. So with the birth details of an individual, we can recommend a person that, which facing or what should be the facing of the plot and what should be the facing of the house of an individual.
Okay. And how do Astro Vastu predictions adapt to Vastu principles to change like planetary transits and retrogrades? So I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. See, with the planetary transitions, if your house is balanced as per the Astro Vastu principles, as per the Ashtaka Varga, as per your planetary positions, if the house is balanced according to that, then a person will not have a major impact with the gochars, the transits of the planets. If the Vastu is done on the generalized basis, so for example, if I just balance the house with the principles of just the balancing of five elements and the directions, then a person might have, a great uh, results, or, a great changes with the planetary positions and the transits. So it is very
Yeah.
important that, one should balance the house as per the horoscope of a person and the planetary positions of a person.
Okay. Thank you. What about different astrology sources, like Western astrology, Vedic, or Chinese astrology?
See, as per my practice, my knowledge, the Vedic astrology is one of the most accurate and one of the most precise, form of astrology. So I personally would recommend everybody, and I also myself, practice the Vedic astrology, and I take all the inputs from the Vedic astrology. Because see, it is because the Vedas, from which this Vedic studies are being derived from, it is one of the most oldest form, or you must say oldest sources of all these information. And it is one of the most accurate, it has been used by the Devatas, thousands of years ago. So that is why I always recommend and I always practice myself the Vedic Vastu and the Vedic astrology.
And what do the nakshatras like? Where do the nakshatras play the roles in? How do we use do you use them, or how do we use them in the
Okay.
astro?
I'll tell you. See, it is very much important to give emphasis to nakshatras in a particular horoscope. Okay. There are various trees, there are various animals which are associated with a nakshatra. So, astrologically, when we give somebody a nakshatra based remedy, so it is sometimes about, planting a particular tree for a nakshatra. Okay, every 27 nakshatra is associated with a particular tree, a plant, or an animal. So, in this case, uh, when a person is given a nakshatra based remedy, so with the help of Vastu, we can tell that, okay, this particular nakshatra based remedy, we can do it in this direction. So, for example, if you are planting a tree in your house, in a particular space, anywhere, so, with the help of Vastu, we can even emphasize or increase the results of a particular nakshatra based remedy. So
Okay,
that is how we can use Vastu, with nakshatras.
nice. And what about Vastu Yantras and their relationship with astrology?
Definitely. See, a yantra is a very powerful thing. Okay. And first of all, a yantra has to be made very precisely. The measurements, the drawings, everything should be, perfect. So there's no scope of any mistakes. So if a yantra is not made correctly, it will not work. And sometimes if a yantra is not made correctly, okay, it might give you bad results as well. So first of all, my recommendation to all the viewers is that, if you are getting a yantra or if you are making a yantra, make sure that, it is a precise one. Okay, you don't make any mistakes while making it. Okay, otherwise yantras are very powerful. They can eliminate all the negative results, all the negative energies from a particular space, and, bring out all the positive energy in that space where the yantra is placed. Also, the yantras are to be placed very precisely. You cannot just keep any yantra anywhere in the house. Every particular yantra, depending upon what planet it is representing and what direction it is to be kept in, all these things are very much important to, analyze before using a yantra for a particular remedy.
So what do you guys exactly do in taking away the negative influences in the space while enhancing positive
Okay.
influences in the, yeah.
Yeah, sure. See, there are various things which brings out the negative energies in your house. So, for example, let's start with washroom. Okay, wrongly constructed washrooms or wrong placements of washrooms can bring out very negative results or very negative energy in a particular home or a particular space. Okay, and then there are paintings, then there are colors, you know even some plants. So these are all the carriers of the energies. So how they are placed and where they are placed, you know decides the energy flow of that area. So if a thing is placed in a negative zone, it will automatically start releasing the negative energy out of it. If a washroom is in the northeast direction, in Vastu Shastra, northeast is one of the most important direction. It is where the head of the Vastu Purush is. So if you place a washroom over there, it brings out very negative energy. It can bring cancer and paralysis, these types of diseases in your house. Okay, and then we talk about the citrus plants, for example, lemons or oranges. These kinds of plants should not be in a house. They can be in a garden, they can be in a ground. But then in your house, the citrus plants and the thorny plants like cactus, they are not allowed in your houses. So these are all the things which carries a particular form of energy inside them. So it is very much important that we should have a precise direction to place all of these things so that all the energies around us can stay positive.
Thank you. So, I used to hear a lot, like when people would say one shouldn't have a house facing south, right? Or like there are so many, like in general, you would read or hear. So basically with Astro Vastu, literally it's customized to each person's chart. So it may be for somebody, south can be amazing,
Absolutely.
right? Amazing direction.
Even, myself, I'm living in a south-facing home. I'm an Aries
Yeah,
ascendant and I have a good Ashtaka Varga score of Mars. And, all the properties that I have, they are, south-facing.
right, right. And how do when Mahadashas changes like for people, right? Or like so can they can the energies be changed in terms of like if we
Absolutely. It
yeah,
is a very good question. I'll give you an example. I had a client, for
yeah.
whom I did the Vastu. So she was a lady and, she was living in a flat in which her bedroom was in the southeast direction. So according to her birth chart, the placements of Venus was not very good. Okay. It was, a planet which was giving her problems. So then, as soon as the Mahadasha of Venus started in her life, she started facing a lot of health problems. Since, Venus is the direction of, since, Venus is in southeast, southeast is the direction ruled by Venus. So,
Mhm.
coincidentally, her bedroom was also in the southeast direction. So the energies of Venus were very much overpowering in that house, specifically for her. So since the Mahadasha of that person started, she started facing a lot of health problems, relationship problems with everybody. So when I was doing the
Mhm.
Vastu of that house, I saw that, her bedroom was in the southeast direction and her Venus was also not very good in that chart. So I immediately, told her to shift her bedroom from Venus to any other direction other than southeast. Then you'll get some good results out of it. So as soon as she shifted her room into another direction, which was, I guess, west at that time, her health also started improving. Her relationship skills were also uh, flourishing. So that is how, if a planet is not good and you are staying in that particular direction and the Mahadasha of that planet starts, it can, give you very bad results. So this is where the Ashtaka Varga and the Astro Vastu came into the play. The people who do not consider astrology in their Vastu, they would say that, okay, Southeast is a very good direction, for having a bedroom over there. It will give you a lot of power. It will give you a lot of confidence. But what if Venus in your chart is not supportive? At that
Mhm.
point of time, Southeast will not give you good results. It will give you bad results. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is where the Astro Vastu comes into the play.
Yes, more precise and more like it's more
Correct,
confirming to the chart.
correct,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And how does the Muhurta, Ganjanta, or Grey Pravesh, how do they apply in Vastu?
Okay, see, Graha Pravesh, etc., these are the practices, the Vedic practices which are being followed from a very old time. Okay, these are the practices which are basically used to purify the land, to bring the good energies. For example, in Hindu Dharma, okay, when we purchase a house, when we purchase a land, okay, we do the Graha Pravesha of that house. Okay, we do the Neve ceremony in that house. So these are all the practices which are very important. I must say, everyone should follow these practices based on their own particular religion, to just purify the land. Just by doing this practices, you can, remove the negative energies by 50% of that land.
Wow. Thank you. So is there you can give us some general tips, some simple tips for all the viewers, some tips for Vastu in general, like
Sure.
for example, you give me on
Yeah.
plants or anything that comes to your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. See, most of the remedies, I derive them, by watching the horoscope and the particular placements, of the things according to Astro Vastu. But then there are also some few other generalized remedies that just, brings the positive energies inside your house. Number one is, a swastik. A swastik is a very, not very, I must say, the most powerful symbol. Okay, so if anyone has a negative entrance, in Vastu, we have 32 different entrances. Okay, and not all of them are positive. So if anyone has a negative entrances of that house, one can install a swastik over there at their entrances that would, nullify the negative results of a negative entrance. Okay, it will make it positive. You can add swastiks in your house. And then talking about the plants, see, money plant is a very positive plants to have in your house. Most importantly, tulsi, which is also called basil. Okay, I must say everyone should have a basil plant inside their house. And the other plant, which is a very good plant, is a snake plant. It's an indoor plant. You can keep those plants inside your house in the east direction, okay, of your house. It also absorbs all the negative energies. You see, I had a client who has these snake plants in their house, and what happened is, a family member died in the house, and people were crying, and it was a very depressive kind of scenario over there. And when I went there, all the snake plants, they've all died. So they were absorbing all the negative sorrows, the sobbings of the people inside them. So you see, whenever where a snake plant is placed, if the people around there is happy, everything is good, the snake plant would flourish. If the surroundings are sad, depressive, you see the snake plants will automatically die.
Wow. That's very interesting. Thank you, Naman.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you take Astro Vastu consultations as well. What is if you want to just give us your website, your information, and then I'll also put a link below and viewers can contact you and,
Absolutely.
if they
So
have
I have a
questions or, yeah.
website. Yeah, I have a website, namanastro.com. You can log on to my website, and you can avail the consultation services from me. Also, I am planning to launch a Vastu course very soon. So, you all can uh, join the Vastu course and get an opportunity to learn with me the Astro Vastu that I'm talking about. I'm not just be teaching the regular Vastu based on the elements and directions, but I'll be teaching Astro Vastu in my course.
That's wonderful. I'll be joining your course.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Naman. Thank you. I hope you guys all enjoyed the session with Naman. And if you have any question, I'll be leaving his website link below, and you can contact him for consultation or joining his courses. And thank you so much.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Hare Krishna. Namaste.